Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to successfully breed mice. And first I'm going to tell you a list of supplies that you'll need, and I'll also tell you that breeding mice successfully isn't easy, and then if you don't do it correctly, if you try to rush it, and if you're not patient, and if you just don't take care of them, it will end badly for the both of you. So first I'll give you a list of supplies and things you'll need, such as food, um, supplies, and like the best place to buy your mice, which is not online, just so you know. Like, there used to be this website, it's called micebymail.com. They closed, but they sold mice online, and I never tried the service, but I wouldn't take that chance of actually buying live mice online, because you don't know how they're going to get to you, how far they have to go, etc. It's just not a good idea. But first, as far as food, most people, they usually buy it in the pet store, like the name brand supplies that they have. But you really don't need that, and sometimes it's not always the best because they're not getting the nutrition that they need. So what I would suggest using, so they get their wheat and their grain, would be like Cheerios, like the plain ones, not the honey nut, because it's not very good for them with the sugar and things. Lettuce and carrots. Now I wouldn't like put it all in one bowl for them all at once. Maybe like Cheerios one day, lettuce and carrots the other. You know, mix it up. And you can also go online and find other things they like. Oh, they like rice as well, so that's good to go with the Cheerios and rice one day. Not cooked, not anything, just plain dry rice, like straight out the package. You can get water bottles at Walmart. You know, the ones they sell for the rodents, hamsters and things, for like $2-3 each, and that's cheaper than they sell them at Petco and PetSmart. You're gonna need several cages and containers. What I would suggest using would be a 10-gallon aquarium for the mom. You're gonna put the mom in one cage, and she's gonna need that room for her and the litter when they arrive. So just one 10-gallon for her, maybe a 5-gallon for the dad, some newspaper for the bedding. I know some people say that the newspaper's not good for them because of the ink, but if you put some paper towel on top of it, it won't be much of a problem because all they're going to do is shred it all up. But I would suggest running the newspaper through a shredder first before putting it in there. Clothespin for a chew toy. Most people just buy it from the pet store, but I would use a clothespin, but you need to take the metal part out, so you just kind of twist it and just take the metal part out and then just put it in there for them. And they have something to chew on so their teeth will get filed, because they're incisors. I think the front two teeth just keep growing and growing, and if they don't get filed, then that's not good, and they can something bad happens to them. But you know, just get them something to chew on so that they can file their teeth down. And you're gonna obviously need a male mouse and a female mouse. Now, if you live in Houston, Texas, then I would recommend a Petco, because many of PetSmart's, the ones that I've seen, the mice don't look too well, and they're much more expensive than at PetSmart. And there's also a City Pets that I've been to, and they're cheap and they look very healthy. So City Pets or Petco. But if you have either one of those nearby, then you should have a PetSmart that you can go to. And I will have a 10-gallon also for the baby mice when they arrive, so you can put them all in there together. But when they get older, you need to take them apart, maybe about 4 weeks of age. Just take them apart, separate them. And I have some tips. You know, do not keep more than one adult male mouse together because they will fight. Now, if they're from the same litter, it's okay until they have mated. Then you need to separate them, because then they get the hormones going and they want to fight for their territory and things like that. You shouldn't mate male and female mice from the same litter, because that's called inbreeding, and it causes deformation of the new litter, sort of like it would in humans. You know, might be something wrong with them, whether physically or, you know, on the inside they might be missing something or have too many of something. And it's just not good. So, you know, just outbreed. You know, just maybe if you keep some of your mice from one litter, you go to a pet store, not one that you sold to, and, you know, buy another mouse to mate with the ones you have at home. You can keep several female mice together, because unlike the males, they will get along and they won't fight each other. And you can even keep them together while pregnant, so maybe like 2 per mice in 10-gallon, or maybe even 20-gallon, because you need more room. And they'll help each other through it. But sometimes when they have their litters, if they're around the same time, one of the mothers will abandon her litter to go help the other mother, because hers are maybe premature and the other mothers are, you know, healthy and big. So sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. But one thing I read is that it's good to sort of have a female mouse and a non female mouse, a female pregnant mouse, and one that's not pregnant together, because the one that's not pregnant will help the pregnant one after the litter is born. Um, a good temperature to keep the mice at is about 75 degrees. Not too hot and not too cold. If it's too hot, then they'll probably have a heat stroke or something and die. And if it's too cold, they'll freeze. So 75 to maybe 80 is a good temperature for them. They should get about 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark, just like we should. And that's how it is with us, so that's how it should be with them. But that shouldn't be much of a problem unless you're like keeping them in like a basement or something. And you should have like a light there so they can get their 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark. As far as plugs, when the male and female mouse mate, there's sometimes a plug, and just because you find one in the cage doesn't mean that she's actually pregnant. Sometimes it's just there. Usually it takes about a month for the litter of mice to be born, and after say about 2 months, they're ready to leave the mother, and they should be separated from each other by then, way before then actually. And a female mouse shouldn't be bred until about 10-12 weeks of age, because before then, if you breed her around 6 weeks of age, was when she first becomes sexually mature. It'll put a lot of strain on her and the mice, and then might be some complications, and she may die as well as the litter. So, if you want a healthy litter, wait till about 10 weeks of age. Mice live usually around 2-3 years, sometimes longer, depending on the health and the conditions they're living in. So if it's really good, you might get a good 3 years out of each mouse. But if they're breeders, they should be put down before then, or else it's kind of like torture. I wouldn't suggest having more than 10 litters with each female mouse. That might be a bit much, but that's like a limit I would put on it, because that's after that becomes torture, and the litters might not be that much. It wouldn't be very good quality. You should clean out the cages about once every 2 weeks. Sooner if there's like a very bad smell or it just doesn't look too good and you can tell it's dirty. Every day you should clean out newspaper that's soiled, food that's been eaten or starting to rot, and stale water. You should change the water and food every day, as well as newspaper if it's wet. It's not good for a mouse to be bred back to back, though it can happen by accident, so I would suggest while the female is pregnant and you're for sure she's pregnant, you just take the male out, so there won't be any problems. When you introduce them together in the very beginning, you should watch them for a little bit. Make sure there's not going to be any fighting. Fighting between males and females is very rare, but sometimes it can happen because their eyesight is not too good, so they don't know what's in their territory. It could be a male, it could be female, they don't know, so there might be fighting, so you should watch them very closely. I suggest if you're going to turn this into a business, you should sell them to a pet store like PetSmart or Petco. And if you decide to sell them to a pet store, you should check the quality of the mice they already have. Make sure that they're kept well, that everything is clean and the store is clean. As if not, then your mice might not be treated very well, and you wouldn't want that. So that's what I think you should do. And I think I've covered the basic things. I didn't cover what do you call that? Sexing. But I'm going to put a link in the description that you should go read. It's website, and it has all of the information that you need as far as food, the breeding, and the basic things that you should know, though I've covered a few of them here. So you should go to the link, watch it. Read it. I keep saying watch. So thanks for watching.